I will say this, and I think it'll surprise people. The fact that his bond...
Hold on, sir. I have to stop you with the camera because I can see you. So do me a favor, don't pull it out again.
And The View, you don't need to find Trumpers. You need to fire your race baiters.
Yeah. You
need to fire the two races. You've had people. You had a McCain on there. You've had people on there before, and you ran them off. Mm-hmm. So the racist ones who want to stick to this, Whoopi and Sonny, and the, was it Bette Midler? What's her name? Yeah, broke-ass Bette Midler.
Tyrus just did what nobody else had the guts to do. He called out The View. And yes, even Whoopi Goldberg wasn't spared. It was like watching a sumo wrestler walk into a tea party and flip the table. Things got spicy, petty, and downright hilarious. You won't believe what he said, or how Whoopi reacted. Grab your popcorn, because this wasn't just another TV spat. This was pure chaos wrapped in comedy. But the real question is, did Tyrus just end The View with one calm, devastating comment?
Just remember, too, the Iranians literally throw gay people off of buildings. They don't adhere to basic human rights.
Listen, here's the thing. Let's not do that, because if we start with that, we have been known in this country to tie gay folks to the car.
I'm sorry, but where the Iranian regime is today in 2025 is nothing compared to the United States.
Keep hanging black people. So
it is not even the same. I couldn't step during this.
Tyrus, the weird thing about The View was that Dylan Mulvaney was the most feminine person there.
Yes, he was. Somebody.
Before we dive in, smash that like button and subscribe, because trust me, you don't want to miss this one. It started like any other morning on The View. 5 women trying to out-volume each other, coffee cups shaking, and Whoopi sitting there with the energy of someone who's seen too much. You could practically hear the chaos warming up before the cameras even rolled. Then came Tyrus. Not physically, but his words, they hit that studio harder than a truth bomb dropped in a room full of echo chambers.
But it's only in America. Can a black person sit on a TV show getting paid millions and millions of dollars to have the floor and can say, it can interrupt people, because she interrupted her.
Yeah.
And if according to her, life was like in Iran, it was for black people, her interrupting and speaking in public would have led to a stoning.
Yeah.
Like the ignorance, you live in a country where you might feel a certain way, but here's the one thing about America that makes it different than anyone else. You have an opportunity, even as dumb as the
He didn't yell. He didn't roll his eyes. He just did what Tyrus does best. Calmly dismantled the circus with the same tone you'd use to order lunch. The man radiates, "I'm not impressed" energy, and that's exactly what The View couldn't handle. Because when Tyrus talks, he doesn't chase the drama. He makes it chase him.
Hire them and bring people in. Maybe you could get McCain to come back. She was a Republican, but every show and every break, she was nearly in tears because she was being attacked. So the problem is that you have to go after the racist people. And if the CEO goes, you know what? I'm not going to allow a woman on my show or man that will go after white America and talk about them like dogs. That doesn't represent our ideals or values for anyone. And get rid of those people, and this will clear up real quick. So do you have to actually look in the mirror and clean up your own backyard and get the racist people out? Because that's who you allowed in. You allowed black racists on TV who could just go all day and say anything.
And The View. Oh, they chased him like a bad idea that just won't quit. Let's be real. This show has built an empire out of interruptions, contradictions, and pretending they've discovered the truth every weekday. It's less of a talk show and more like verbal WWE, except with more coffee and fewer coherent thoughts.
She has an opportunity tomorrow. They won't fire her over that.
No.
She'll have an opportunity tomorrow to come on and fix it. Will she? She won't. But that's the thing about this country. Black, white, gay, straight, short, tall. Everyone's going to get hit with something, but the beauty about this country is there's always an opportunity for you to better yourself. So shame on you, Whoopi. Play the black card somewhere else because the don't work here in America.
Yeah. You know the irony?
And then there's Whoopi, the grand referee of chaos. She's calm in the storm until the storm says something she doesn't like. Then, boom, Category 5 judgment mode. That look she gives? The one that says, you're about to regret your entire opinion.
And I guess lo and behold, they forgot that there's a lot of people at home, white people at home during the day that are not watching your show anymore. So just clean it up.
Yeah, you know, Emily, could you imagine yourself on The View as like taking that job? Let's say they find something really ugly in your past, you get fired from Fox. That could happen, by the way. No. I never burned those photos. But I mean, could you do that?
I get very sensitive.
Tyrus saw right through it. He called it out with that heavyweight smirk, like a man who already knows every move before they make it. He pointed out how The View can go from preaching unity to dividing everyone faster than you can say, commercial break.
Sure, all that, and the price of butter. Sunny gets the game ball. If it wasn't for her, asking that question, it might have been a close.
A beauty was in the delivery. No shouting, no drama. Just dry humor, so sharp you could shave with it. While the panel acted like they were the guardians of modern wisdom, Tyrus treated their self-importance like a bad sketch. He leaned back, figuratively, and said, "Really? This is what passes for conversation now?" And he's right. The View has been trying to be the voice of reason for years. But every episode looks more like a group chat that escaped its phone. He compared them to people who love debate, but only when everyone agrees with them. They call it discussion, until someone disagrees. Then it's dangerous rhetoric. Tyrus didn't need to say it directly. His calm tone said everything. That's what makes him dangerous. He doesn't need applause or chaos. He just tells the truth, so dry, it sets itself on fire.
I love Whoopi's right. I mean, it's been rough for us. I mean, you saw what just happened to me in the last segment. I'm trying to talk, and all the white people are like, "Oh, it's Tyrus. I can make a phone call." You know? And it's.
How did that make you feel?
I felt very black.
Did you feel black?
Yeah,
it's worth Tyrus. Malice just started snapping his fingers for you.
Thank God black people don't do that in audiences.
Yes, yeah. No, we just talk the whole time and tell you how to do your show better.
Tyrus has that veteran energy, the kind that says, "You can't cancel me. I already left the chat." And that drives Whoopi insane. Her whole vibe? Equal parts authority and exhaustion. Like someone who's been explaining the same thing since 1997 and can't believe people still disagree. But Tyrus wasn't disrespectful. That's what made it sting. He didn't yell or insult. He just calmly highlighted how ridiculous things had become. He called out how The View spends half an hour arguing about things that don't matter, pretending it's world-changing television. It's like watching philosophers debate over brunch, except everyone's quoting Twitter instead of Aristotle. He wasn't attacking The View. He was describing its soul. The show that claims to represent everyone, but only tolerates one opinion at a time.
Oh, nothing really comes to mind. I was like, Shih-Ching, listen, they're bitter, they're angry, they're entitled. They also should be, this should have been a reset for everyone who pushed lies and misinformation for the last, they call them Hitler, they call these things, America rejected them. And instead of coming back and saying, we lied, they instead are now doubling down. So let her keep doing it, because if she keeps that up, we're going to keep getting the Senate and probably the House and the White House, because people see right through your lies. So keep doing what you're doing. Game ball to Sunny.
The internet exploded. Some said he was too harsh. Others said he just said what everyone's been thinking. And here's the irony. The View didn't even realize how perfectly they proved his point. The next day, the panel played the victim. They twisted themselves into philosophical pretzels, trying to defend their chaos as structure. It was like watching someone explain why their cat deserves a driver's license. Tyrus knew exactly what he was doing. He dropped breadcrumbs and let their reaction write the punchlines. He mocked their idea of tolerance, where tolerance means agreeing with the panel or being exiled. He exposed how they treat difference of opinion like it's contagious.
Next, Joy's going to say she's never heard of carbs. Seriously, her denial of knowing me is as believable as her red hair. But obsession? I mean, come on, Joy. Where would you even get that idea? Like Joy Behar's face, it's looking worse and worse by the day. More full of crap than Joy Behar after a night of scotch and Taco Bell. Her being named Joy is like me being named ugly. Joy wasn't there on the show. Apparently Mondays are her day.
And then came the moment. You could hear the collective gasp from their audience. The sudden realization that maybe, just maybe, the Emperor wasn't wearing clothes. Whoopi's response? Predictable. The sigh, the head tilt, the here we go again face. But behind all that, you could see the frustration. Because for once, someone had called them out better than they could handle. Tyrus didn't dominate the moment. He just let the truth do the heavy lifting. Every calm jab landed harder than a scream ever could. He joked that The View's biggest accomplishment is making daytime TV feel like jury duty, a punishment disguised as conversation. And the best part? He didn't even need to say names. Everyone knew who he was talking about.
Now to some news. The feral monsters of The View say they've never heard of you-know-who. True, the show that makes mornings hell claim that my name doesn't ring a bell. It's time for...
Our view on The View. Ugh.
Yeah, the witch's coven finally shows me some lovin'. Yesterday on The View, yours truly was the subject of conversation. Apparently the broads have no idea who I am, or so they say. Hit it, Gladys.
The contrast was hilarious. Whoopi's storm versus Tyrus's calm, like watching thunder argue with a mountain. Even people who'd never watched The View started tuning in, just to see what the fuss was about. That's how you know a roast hit home, when it revives the very thing it's mocking, but not in the way it hoped. By week's end, it wasn't even about Tyrus anymore. It was about what he exposed. The contradictions, the arrogance, the we speak for everyone attitude that somehow excludes half the audience. He flicked the mirror, and The View didn't like the reflection.
Jesse was a 7.
Joy Behar calls her a 10. I mean, how dare she objectify a woman with a sexist rating system, but it's such a typical thing from a 1.5.
That's what makes Tyrus's calm so lethal. It forces people to hear themselves. By the end, The View went back to pretending nothing happened. But everyone watching knew something had shifted. The curtain had slipped, and behind it wasn't empowerment, just noise. Tyrus had walked through their self-made storm untouched, proving that sometimes the most powerful voice in the room is the one that refuses to yell. He didn't destroy The View with outrage. He dismantled it with clarity.
It doesn't matter whether you're a comedian or just a regular old person who goes about their day. You have every right. It's your birthright as an American. If you're not happy with what's going on, you're allowed to say it. If you don't like how things are going, you're allowed to say it. It is your birthright. That's part of what makes you an American. It's part of what makes us different than everybody else. And we acknowledged all of those Republicans who recognized that it's not a right or left.
But of course, The View couldn't let it end there. They always have to have the last word, even if it's the wrong one. The next episode opened with fake calm, mugs lifted, smiles plastered on. Everyone pretending they didn't spend the night doom-scrolling Tyrus clips. Whoopi started with that long, deliberate pause, her classic, I'm about to educate someone move. Except, no one asked for a lesson. They danced around his name using vague phrases like certain commentators and some people out there. That's how you know Tyrus hit deep, when an entire panel starts speaking in code. Meanwhile, Tyrus, probably somewhere sipping coffee, blissfully unaware that he'd just set daytime TV on fire.
Here's Joy Behar talking about refusing to share a kidney.
I could be friends with a Trump supporter. I won't give them a kidney, but I could be friends with them.
Hey, Joy, it's a kidney, not a pizza. Of course, she's kidding at first, but then she goes on to explain the moral foundation for her resentment, and it's the same one that drives all deadly ideologies.
And that's what makes it perfect. He didn't destroy the View by fighting it. He let it destroy itself, one overreaction at a time. By the end of the week, they tried to pivot, pretending it was beneath them. But you can't unring a bell, and you can't unhear the truth. Every time they mention respectful dialogue now, all anyone hears is Tyrus's calm voice echoing in the background. They became the punchline in their own show, and Tyrus, still calm, still collected, still undefeated in the art of the effortless takedown. Because sometimes the loudest sound you can make is the silence that follows a perfectly delivered truth.